How's it going, everybody? It is Sean, or the Armchair Coach, and welcome to episode 15 of UTSA Dynasty. 4 games into our first season here in the SEC, and I think things are going swimmingly so far. If you look at our season so far, we have pulled out win after win, although some of these wins are a little bit more concerning than others. But we have a big gauntlet here against a 4-0 Auburn team, a maybe chance to relax just a teeny bit against Kentucky, and then 2 really tough matchups back-to-back, with Alabama coming to us at home, and then us going to Ole Miss away. Let's not waste any time. I'm going to check in on recruiting, and then we will hop in here. Okay, so there's no real update for recruiting. We're still leading for basically everybody we want in this class right now, except for maybe Eric Span here. We're really pushing as hard as we can. We might end up losing out on him, however, with Texas bringing him in week 8. Part of me thinks let's go ahead and duck out of that while it's still not too late, and let's add another defensive tackle. But I'm going to do that here after I tell you about Brenton Haddad. I want to kind of inspect him here and see what we've got going on, as he looks to be pretty decent. He's a 4-star recruit from Minnesota. Nobody's really looking at him right now, so I think we can definitely sneak in there. We'll offer him the interested package in NIL, and we'll go ahead and send him 40 points here. All right, so we've added 3-star Riley Whitaker here. He's kind of towards the top end. Oh, my goodness, dude. This is just... It's been a really bad year, I think, for us recruiting-wise. As far as just being able to find talent that isn't a bust. We are in, like, what, our 12th bust at this point? But I guess we'll wait another week here to go after another defensive tackle. But we can rest easy knowing that we've got an edge rusher on the board that I think has a good bit of talent and has nobody going after him right now. So we should be able to sneak in here and make some noise in his recruitment. We are away from home in Auburn, Alabama, taking on the Tigers today. I would love to come out here and continue to play well, right? We've shown our team has some ability to compete here in the SEC early and even put up a win up against Georgia last week. So let's hop in here to the moments and find out what we've got for Auburn today. And okay, first moment here is going to be us inside Auburn's red zone. So the offense has already come out to play today. We're going to be lined up in the pistol here on first down. I really don't like this this counterplay, so we'll go to a dive. I really just think when we have Chad Dragey in the backfield, getting downhill should be the priority, right? Let him run through some defenders and pick up the yardage there, as he's already run for 36 yards today on only 2 carries. 2nd and 1 here. We've got an RPO called. We'll see if Emmett Longo gets open there on the side, and it looks like they're covering it, so we'll hand off to Dragey again and pick up the first. It's going to be 1st and goal. I mean, does it feel cheap to hand off on every play? Maybe, but do I care if we're able to just do exactly that and get into the end zone with little to no resistance? I also think not, as we are going to take a 7-0 lead here early. We are in the red zone once again here, and it is 14-0 in the early going. We scored another touchdown without us having to even step in. So we're in the pistol on 1st and goal here. We're going to hand off to Joey Escalante, but they are going to stop us just short. On 2nd down here, hold on. So we've turned the window for timing back on here for this red zone opportunity, right? I would love to be able to go and give George Nijman a chance here in the red zone. Oh, there's no fade. Okay, well, I guess we're going to have to see if he's got it no matter what, as he's going to go up and get it. I time it just right, and George Nijman's going to hang on through the contact. Touchdown, Roadrunners, and we are up by 3 scores here in the 2nd quarter. And we are once again in the red zone. Auburn has no answer for these Roadrunners today. Oh my goodness, did not expect this kind of performance when we walked in here today. But we are up 28-0 here, as we're going to watch the 3rd quarter roll by. We score another touchdown, and it's 3rd down. We haven't had to touch the ball on defense at all this game. It's 3rd and 8 here. We're going to line up in the shotgun. And, okay, that is not who I wanted to pass to. I thought the X was the outside receiver on that play. That was my mistake. as we are once again in the red zone. You didn't see that. What a performance from the team today. I mean, this game has gone by in a flash as Joey Escalante is going to put the ball on the ground. Thank God our offensive lineman rolls on it. I think he got hurt rolling on it as I think that was, yeah, Eli Thorne. No, okay. Eli Thorne wasn't the one who picked it up, but he is hurt on that play as Joey Escalante is in the backfield again here, and he is going to take it across the goal line, making up for the fumble perhaps there, as it is 42-7 here. I thought that SEC play would be, I mean, I don't want to say tougher than this, but I really thought it was going to be a struggle, but we have come out with a chip on our shoulder perhaps, as that was a great pass, just a little bit too far behind. And Auburn's going for it here at the end of the game, but the clock's running out, and I mean, all things considered, what a performance today. I'm excited to take a look at the stats here in just a second, but they're going to make the completion with 6 seconds to go. The quarterback's only thrown for 88 yards today. Oh, okay. This is why. They had 2 quarterbacks playing. I don't know if one got benched or if one was like hurt. Oh, they threw their backups in there at the end of the game, I suppose. But yeah, Cameron Davenport only threw 6 of 10 for 99 yards and a touchdown for them. That's just disappointing. However, for us, Gregory Fala, 16 of 24, 261, 2 touchdowns today. And then Chad Draghi, 17 for 125 and 2 touchdowns. Joey Escalante, 8 for 103 and 2 touchdowns. Jay Connors, 6 catches for 88 yards today. George Nidgeman, 4 for 81 and 2 touchdowns of his own. And then absolutely wrecking things in Auburn's backfield today. Multiple tackles for loss from multiple guys here. Couple of sacks, no interceptions, but no fumbles either. So we were just stifling Auburn's offense all game long. How about that from our team today? Maybe gives me a little bit more confidence going into next week where we will play Kentucky, continuing to tune ourselves up for a big matchup against Alabama. Nice. We start getting some more recruitments here. Jamie Brandenburg verbally commits. Max Trimble hard commits, which is a very good thing. That takes care of an AD expectation, right? Signed a 4-star, and that is indeed Max Trimble, which is good because I was worried about there was a team coming up behind us in his recruitment. So don't have to worry about that so much anymore. I'm going to update the rest of recruiting, and then we will be back. Okay, so the only real update is we've added a new defensive tackle prospect here. Everybody else so far, if you would like to take a look here, we are still in first for most of them. We've shot up for Brendan Haddad here, which is exactly what we were hoping to see. We are still in first place for every recruit that we're going after. So maybe moving to the SEC was just what we needed to start finding some success in the recruit game, which is great because otherwise I was going to run through a wall, off a cliff, into a pit of spikes. As David Adenyanju, I think is his name, here from Clemens, North Carolina, having an interesting recruiting cycle. It's like teams are kind of interested in him and talking to him, but not offering him much of anything. I worry if that makes him a bust here, as we're going to scout him out. No, he actually looks pretty decent. I'm a little bit hesitant about pure power guys, usually. He looks to be pretty strong. I think we can develop that strength, and his pass rushing moves are actually pretty decent. We're going to give him a scholarship, right? And we're going to send him that interested offer. And we'll go ahead and send 40 hours his way. Once again, with nobody giving him an offer right now, we should be able to get in there and make some noise in his recruitment. Our next test today is the Kentucky Wildcats. There are 79 overall, so they're a little bit worse than a lot of the teams we've played so far in the SEC. Knock on wood here. I hope you can hear that. We have a great game here today, but you never know. So we're going to have to be on our guard here as we will hop in. Back at home today in some flashy alternates here. I wish UTSA had some more uniform options. I feel like you could do a lot more with their blue and orange scheme here, but that's just me ranting off to the side. We have scored a touchdown already here as we're going to hop into our first moment. Defense needs some help as Kentucky is having more success driving the ball down the field than Auburn did. Quarterback alone in the shotgun, and he's just going to run it up the middle, and holy cow, we've evaded the play there. Nobody wanted to contact the quarterback as they are just going to walk in, and it's a tie ball game here and we get a big first quarter drive opportunity. We're going to hand off to Chad Draghi here on first down. Can we find the hole? We sure can, and we're going to run through the safety, and we are going to get taken down there after a gain of 15. Let's keep the ball on the ground, establish our identity. We are a run-first team, first and foremost. Definitely missed the opportunity for the hole the first time, still managed to find it, and we pick up another 12 that time. Let's see if we've set up a play action here, as we're going to go with a nice deep shot perhaps. Maybe just drop it down low here to Warren Ingram and pick up the first that time. How unlike me to play it safe. First and 10 here. Going to head back to the run game. I mean, why not? Kentucky shouldn't be able to stop our run game. They do manage to step up and make a stop that time. Now, second and 10 here. We might get one-on-one coverage up the seam here with George Nijman, but it's not going to matter if our quarterback can't. That was, oh my God, our running back and quarterback were cuddling in the backfield instead of getting on the loose football. Third and 25 here. Not an ideal play there towards the end of this drive. However, I see Jay Connors wide open, and we're going to get picked off. Theoretically, it's a great play. However, it just doesn't work out here. We'll go to the postmortem. This is just a great play from the safety, right? Because when I've released this ball, he's wide open. The safety's all the way over here, and he just makes a great play on the football. I think if maybe we lead the ball behind and have him come back to it, it doesn't become a turnover. But that's just the way things go sometimes. You make a risky play, half the time it works out, half the time it doesn't. So we're back on offense here inside Kentucky territory, so maybe we got a turnover of our own, as Joey Escalante is going to get a carry here on third down, and oh my God, I watched Emmett Longo just completely not get any block. I mean, his man just breaks on it immediately, and I watched it the entire time. He just couldn't make the block. So it's 4th and 1 here, and I'm assuming if we failed that moment. So I'm assuming if I hop in here to the key moments, we'll have an opportunity to keep the drive alive. Okay. So we will hop back in here on 4th and 1, and it's going to be Chad Draghi in the backfield this time. Much more comfortable giving him a short yardage carry, but Kentucky is going to be there that time. Okay, so Kentucky wants to play spoiler today, that's for sure, as they're in our territory with a 3rd and 6. Swap over to some man coverage, maybe try to get some pressure into their backfield even, as the receiver's wide open there. We cannot keep up with that speed, apparently. Touchdown, Kentucky. And they're driving on us again here. It's going to be 3rd and 9. What a turnaround this is, right? I mean, we come up short on offense, as we will make a stop there on third down, getting the big hit in the backfield. But Kentucky's come out to play today, and we've got to wake up here if we want to stay in it. So 3rd and 9 here. Kentucky's coming out in the press, and you know what that means, as I think Emmett Longo is going to have a great opportunity. No, the cornerback is able to rotate over, and I guess we're just going to kick a long field goal to make it a 4-point game. Kentucky's defense has answered the call here today, and our offense is not able to answer. Our defense is also not really answering the call here, as Kentucky is able to move the ball here pretty effectively without us really stepping up here. However, we go up and contest the ball perfectly, manage to stop them. They'll put up a field goal, and it's a 7-point game. We're in the red zone here as time runs out here in the first half. Probably going to look to the run game here. Plenty of time to still run the ball without us endangering our ability to score. We're going to get back to the line quickly here and maybe try to pass it on second. And we're going to roll out, not really seeing anything at first. Gregory Fowler is going to cut upfield, pick up the first, and let's call a timeout. 1st and goal here. 37 seconds left in the half. Happy to hand the ball off and try to establish the run game, as Chad Draghi is just going to run through the Kentucky defender here. We're going to get back to the line. We're going to do the exact same thing here on second. This is exactly what the Seahawks should have done in the Super Bowl, and that's what we're going to do here, as Chad Draghi will take it across, no problem. And we have a tie ball game here. Entering the second half, Kentucky moving the ball on us once again here on 3rd and 7. We're going to have to make a big stop, as they're most likely going to be passing. Got to clog to passing lanes as best as possible, as he's rolling out, and we get to him. That is Terrain Figueroa getting the big sack there to make a stop, and we are in Kentucky's red zone. Offense somehow always manages to come alive in the second half, and this is no different as we're going to hand off to Chad Draghi, and we will run through the Kentucky defender once again to pick up a 1st and goal. And this time, once again, hand off to your best player in the backfield and let him take it across the goal line for you, and we have taken the lead here. All right, so another red zone opportunity here. However, it is a 3rd and 10. And we are going to step up and scramble because they are covering everything well. We're going to make a man miss with Gregory Fala, and he's going to drop it right at the end. Okay, hold on. Well, you got to go to the replay here. We can't trust EA. We have established this already. And we're going to zoom in here. We're going to watch this guy. Get this guy right here, a map. Anyway, we're going to watch Gregory Fala. He's going to, yep, he's still got it there. He's still pushing there. And oh my goodness, it's hard to tell. I think he's down. I think he's down. We're going to throw the challenge, and we're going to see here. We are going to see as, yes, we get the ball back. I'm not even going to put it up to chance, right? Because we know how this game is. As on 1st and goal here after a very tough run, which almost ended in disaster, let's look. Why not go give Chad Draghi his 3rd touchdown of the game? And we're going to head back into the moments now. And it is 31-17. Kentucky's going to get a touchdown of their own here, and we're once again in the red zone. We're letting Kentucky play a little bit more offense than I would have liked. However, our offense definitely has come alive here in the second half as Chad Draghi takes another carry for 5 yards. Definitely a little banged up here as on 2nd and 5, we're going to maybe drop back to pass as I see Emmett Longo there. We're going to snag that out of thin air. Touchdown. What a throw. What a catch as we just barely timed that for the score. I mean, that could have been bad, but we end up coming out on top there as Kentucky once again is going to score, and we score on our ensuing drive. There is plenty of offense and not a lot of defense here, as we are going to guess that they're going to try to run the ball here, and that's exactly what they do, and we almost managed to stuff that, but not quite, as they are going for it on 4th and 4 here, trying to play the middle of the field for a short pass. That's probably what they're going to look for here, as the quarterback is going to throw up. Why would it shift me to the other guy? Why would it not shift me to the one playing the actual receiver? I don't know. We didn't even get out in onside recovery, and it doesn't matter. We're going to win the game here. We've got recruits in attendance. The big bonus is kind of what we need, so we're going to do the scummy thing here and go down and try to get some points, and I hate doing that, but it's what we've got to do, right? The game makes it so we get a better visit, I think, if we have a better performance, and once again, maybe I need to look this up and see if I've just been saying that out of my butt for it to not mean anything. End of the game here, and we're just going to not. I'm interested to see if it actually matters, so we're just not going to do the scummy thing this one time, and we'll maybe regret it later. But Gregory Fala had a decent performance today, 16 of 27 for 301 and 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, but we can live with that, as Chad Draghi only had 63 yards on the ground. Joey Escalante not doing much either, neither was Gregory Fala, which I think is why we were letting Kentucky stay in the game, unfortunately. Emmett Longo having a great game today, 6 for 137 and 2 touchdowns. But outside of him, not a ton from our receiving core. And defensively, yeah, this is the kind of game I would expect when we are giving up the kind of points that we gave up today. No tackles for loss, no sacks, really. We do manage to get an interception, and we do force a couple fumbles. So I think that ends up being the difference in this one. But I guess we will see next week if the final score actually still makes a difference or not. All right, so we have received a verbal commitment from Alan McDuffie, a verbal commitment from Nick Key, a verbal commitment from Roland Dalton, a verbal from Matthew Dunn, a verbal from Tony Bethune, a hard commitment from Nick Vanderdoes, a hard commitment from Jamie Brandenburg, a hard commitment from Jamie B., And what a week of recruiting that was, as we have a few more recruits visiting this week, a couple of guys in their top 3, and we might have some ability to move around here. Devon Ruggs wins SEC Player of the Week. 2 pass breakups and 6 tackles will do that for you, I guess. I don't really see how that's possible. But it is going to be a number 1 versus number 2 matchup this week as we take on Alabama at home. So I will be back after we've taken a look at recruiting. No big news here. We have a couple of guys, right, that have reached new stages and have committed, and we're going to get a bonus here. However, the biggest news probably is the guys we've got on campus. Victor Crum. We've got Nick Key as well as Alan McDuffie, who's already committed, and Lorenzo Turbin coming to visit today as we take on Alabama. And it's going to be tough for us to win this matchup. They are a closely rated team, right? We know what kind of football Alabama is capable of playing, but we also know what football we are capable of playing. But one thing I do want to take a look at, right? We did say we want to see if the result does make a difference. So let's take a look at Roland Dalton here. Okay, so the clear winner bonus is still a thing. We do want to make sure that we are winning by as much as possible. I mean, clear winner is by 8 points, I guess. All right. So we are going to black out the stadium today for a big time matchup against Alabama. We are here at home, and I was gonna say, if there was ever a game that I was okay with us losing this season, this would be the one. But we are unfortunately at home with recruits in attendance, so losing, unfortunately, just isn't an option today. So we've got to come out and we've got to stick it to the Crimson Tide and put a huge score up on them, right? Let's blow them out and make the recruits impressed. We are in the red zone here for our first opportunity against Alabama. We're going to run the ball here from the shotgun unfortunately, our guard got blown up on that play, and so will the run, as we're going to have to dial it back here on 2nd and 11. Maybe we try to give George Nidgeman an opportunity in the corner of the end zone here, as we're going to try to get the route adjusted. We're going to drop back to pass. Nothing really open, so we're going to scramble and pick up 6 that time. I'm trying to really be on my game against Alabama, right? We know that they are probably one of the best teams that we're going to play this season as they bring the heat on 3rd down. It is 4th and 5. It might be irresponsible, but we don't want to come away empty, and we're going to try to rifle one in for Jay Connors, and he can't hold on through the contact. I don't think I regret it. I think there was a reality where he catches that ball. In the rule of the multiverse, there is a universe where that ball was caught, right? And I'm a hero. We are going to stop Alabama short here to give them 4th and 4, but they are going to come out here and go for it. Let's line up in man, and let's force them to really beat us with their best play there, as they're going to try to rifle one in for their receiver. Touchdown, Crimson Tide. Marco Arcuri not able to keep up with the receiver there. We've got a 3rd and 4 opportunity in Alabama's territory. Let's see if we have some more success getting down the field this time, as we're going to rifle one in and can't time it with George Nidgeman. And it is 4th and 4. They're giving it to us once again with the opportunity to go out there and try to pick up this 1st down. And we're going to drop back to pass, and I see Jay Connors wide open, and he can't hang on through the contact once again. Oh, man, this is not the game for my receivers to let me down. I understand that I'm not necessarily having the best game timing right now, but wasn't even controlling him that time, and we couldn't get it to work out for us, as we're going to drop one off to Trad. I always call him Trad for some reason, but Chad Dragey will pick up the 1st for us. Smart play to dump the ball off, and we have another 3rd and short opportunity here. Having little to no success so far throwing the ball down the field, and it looks like we're not having much success on the ground either, as we finally have a red zone opportunity here. It's 1st and goal from the 8. We're going to drop back to pass here. It looks like Warren Ingram might be hurt, as we're going to drop one off to Stephen Montgomery, and he will catch that one at the 3 and get taken down immediately. 2nd and goal. Keep relying on our run game, right? I know it hasn't been getting us big chunks, but we are moving when we hand the ball off. And they don't look like they are coming out here to defend it on 2nd or 3rd and goal. So let's go ahead and hand off to our player, and he gets clobbered, but across the goal line he goes. Touchdown, and it's a tie ball game here. New opportunity has arisen. It's 3rd and 3 for us, driving into Alabama territory as we are getting close to the end of the first half here. And we're going to be patient, Le'Veon Bell, the best we can as we pick up the first. And unfortunately, the offense doesn't seem to do much with it after that. However, we do have it here, 1st and 10 with a 2-minute drill opportunity. We're going to drop back to throw. Emmett Longo is one-on-one downfield. Can he go up and get it? Not quite that time. Timing wasn't the best there, but it looks like they had a good contest going on anyway, as on 2nd, we're going to hand off to Chad Draghi. No space to work with whatsoever. And 3rd and 11 is the situation. We're going to have to look for something in the air once again. Tried to step up, and eventually I saw the running back, but it's just too late there, as we are not going to be able to move the ball on Alabama here before halftime. We knew full well that this game was not going to be an easy win, right? We knew that we probably weren't going to come out here and stomp Alabama. However, they do manage to get a field goal to take the lead before halftime, and we have the ball here in the 3rd quarter. It is 3rd and 4. We're going to drop back to throw. I see Emmett Longo wide open, and we're going to drop the ball off to him, and he's going to cut up field. And we have 1st and 10 on the Alabama 12. And we're going to come out here and try to establish the run here on 1st and 10. We're going to hand off to Chad Draghi and pick up 4 that time. Like I said, we're fine not necessarily picking up a huge chunk every time we hand the ball off. We can pick up 3 to 4 yards. That keeps our offense ahead of the chains, as once again we will be able to pick up 6 yards that time. And on 3rd and inches here, why abandon what's worked for us so far? Well, maybe because Alabama's got a really good look, but we don't really have anything great to audible to here either. So we're going to have to roll with it, but the space opens up, and we are able to take it across the goal line here. And we are up 14-10 on Alabama. They are pushing the ball down the field on their ensuing drive with no real hesitation, however. And we're going to have to help our defense out here. They're going to drop the ball off on an RPO here on 1st and 10. We do manage to stuff it after a gain of only 2. On 2nd and 8 here, I want to bring the blitz. Let's force some heat into their backfield. And they're going to drop back to pass. They're going to look short, and we're going to be there to pick that off. Cornell Bowie probably could have done more with that. I don't know why he chose to fall down, but what a play there from our star cornerback, as we are going to have a 3rd and 7 opportunity on our drive. And we're going to hand off to Joey Escalante, and he just, he had the lane, but he just got, like, sucked into an animation there. I don't know if you guys saw that or if it was just me. However, we are going to go for it here on 4th and 2. We're going to look short, and I see Jay Connors, but they're going to knock it away. Oh, I thought that cornerback was going to commit to the run or the out route, but he, in fact, stayed close to Jay Connors there. As on 3rd and 8 here on Alabama's next moment, they're going to look to throw one deep, and oh my God, there's no way. I mean, we were there to play the ball, but we just get dunked on, unfortunately. Cornerback just couldn't get to the ball and does that stupid diving animation that's so unnecessary, as Alabama's got it here inside the 5, and we don't play the run at all. Devon Ruggs is going to stare at their running back as he takes it across the goal line. So we are getting the ball back here with 3:03 left in the ball game. We're getting an opportunity to return the punt here and try to put ourselves in better field position, as I keep forgetting that Chad Draghi is our punt returner. That probably really shouldn't be a thing. However, it's going to be 1st and 10 here. We have an opportunity to drive down the field and win this game but we have to do so in a way that keeps Alabama from getting the ball back, right? Even if we just go down and tie the game, go to overtime like we did against Georgia, that is fine, as we are... Okay, one of our players is getting hurt. That's just not the time. It's just not the time to be getting hurt like that. As on 1st and 10 here, we're going to drop back to pass, and we're going to find Chad Draghi short and just pick up a short gain here of 4, and we'll let that take us down to the 2-minute timeout. So 2nd and 6 here, just outside of the 2-minute timeout. We're going to drop back to pass here. Got to start picking up some more chunks as Emmett Long goes wide open, and we're going to cut up field with him to get to the 36. So we're well within field goal range now, so we don't have to be so stupid with the ball that we can't run a couple times, as we're going to try to run the read option here, and we're going to hold the ball here with Gregory Fala. The space is there. Not going to mess around with a one-on-one hit with the safety, but we're going to pick up a chunk of 15 that time running the ball. I say if we can get inside of the red zone here, as Alabama's really conserving their timeouts here late, we can really force Alabama's hand. So 2nd and 7 here, as we're going to hand off to Chad Draghi again, cut back, and I'm not going to score yet. We are going to run the clock out. So 1st and goal here, Alabama holding on to all of their timeouts, as we are going to hand off here on 1st and 10, or 1st and goal. And on 2nd and goal here, we'll go back to the run game on 2nd. And Joey Escalante not quite able to get into the end zone here. We'll call a timeout. We'll gather our thoughts here before 3rd down, right? 3rd and goal. We're not thinking about passing the ball here. We're going to try to force our way into the end zone with the run game, as there's nothing but green grass for Joey Escalante. Touchdown. And you would imagine that is good enough for us to win the game here, as Alabama has to go down and get a touchdown with just 9 seconds in this game. And they're going to drop back, look for the Hail Mary. They chuck one up deep, and we are able to snag it that time. That's Paul Howard, the old unk with the slowest speed you've ever seen, sealing a victory here for us in a tough matchup at Alabama, or against Alabama, as Gregory Fala, 23 of 33 for 282, no passing touchdowns and an interception today. You could imagine the struggles would be there against a team of Alabama's quality. However, we do manage to enforce our will just a little bit on the ground today. I think we probably will call that a success, considering the talent we were playing against, right? As our receiving core kind of all getting involved here. As you can see, a lot of our receivers getting involved today. And then on the defensive side of things, getting into Alabama's backfield a little bit, not producing any sacks, but 2 interceptions today from Cornell Bowie and Paul Howard. And any fumbles? No fumbles. So we continue to remain undefeated here in our first season in the SEC, as we move on to the last matchup of this gauntlet next week against Ole Miss. Okay, next week has arrived, and we have secured a commitment from Lorenzo Turbin, a hard commitment from Alan McDuffie, a hard commitment from Nick Key, a hard commitment from Tony Bethune, and is that it for this week? Okay, we are in a recruiting battle with TCU and a couple of recruitments here. However, I think those recruitments are recruitments that we can put some extra NIL down towards the problem. So I'm going to update those things, and I'll be right back. We're just kind of fooling around at this point in the recruiting cycle because things are going so well, and that's kind of an awesome position to be in. We've added a couple more prospects here. We're only going to keep one of these receivers between George Tillman and Lyle Wagner. And Theo Scales here, that might be a recruitment that we can't get in, although we are moving up his board without us even having to try. I think we'll throw ourselves in there, right? Why not? So we're going to take a look here at these receivers first. George Tillman is not bad. He's a little slower than I would like, right? And we could always use another speedster. Yeah, okay. I think we know who we're going to keep on the board, right? Is it obvious who we should keep on the board here with 99 speed? He's a little bit slow to get to that speed, however. So I think we should definitely focus on his development in speed just a teeny bit if we are able to bring him in here. But we will throw him 40 points after giving him a scholarship offer. And he's from Nebraska, so I think we can definitely throw ourselves in there without too much of an issue. And then how about you, Theo Scales? Okay, that's another gem. So that, of course, we are going to throw ourselves into that recruitment as well with 40 hours. Leaves us with 1,200 NIL, which I'm not worried about, right? We have seen so many times how we have been able to walk away with much more than what we are expected to walk away with. And I will continue to bring in top-tier talent all I want. As we move on here against Ole Miss, and it is going to be another tough matchup today as Ole Miss is a 92 overall. And we are not at home this time, so we do not have the benefit of home field advantage as we walk in here today. All right, we are at Ole Miss today. And Ole Miss might be arguably better than Alabama, as they are also going to have the benefit of home field advantage today, as we are going to drive down the field right away on them today. So off to a good start, maybe. First and goal here. We're going to turn around and hand off to Joey Escalante here. So we're rocking a uniform combo I haven't tried out before. I kind of like the all three there, or the sandwich of the three colors, as we are going to score there, and we are going to have the ball on offense again. Okay. Was a little bit worried we might come out here and struggle away from home, as it's going to look like we're not going to get the audible off there. We're going to hand off to Chad Draghi, find the space, and pile forward for the first. He is really able to make those big runs and just run right through you, man. A running back like that is so valuable. First and 10 here inside of Ole Miss's red zone. Gonna maybe turn to the run game here, as we will actually fake the run. I forgot we call the play action. We're going to roll out and just pick up two, as I had busted the play by forgetting what play I called. Low brain moment of mine, as I know we called a run here on 2nd and 7. We're going to hand off to Draghi, try to cut back, but get stuck on our offensive line. They're only picking up 3. And on 3rd and 4, we're going to try to get this pass going. Maybe George Nijman is able to break open on the outside. Not so much, as we are going to get taken down for a sack that time. Unfortunately, not much developing, and the pocket just was kind of collapsing around us, as we are going to kick the field goal, and it is up and barely through the uprights, holding it a little too far to the right. Oopsie. But it's all right. We are still up 10-3 here as we are nearing halftime. We've got a 3rd down opportunity. It's 3rd and 2 on the 47 of Ole Miss. In the pistol here, let's see if we can maybe dial up the read option, as they are going to commit to the running back. So we're going to take Gregory Fall out of the outside. He's got some space. He's got some wheels, and he's going to get pushed out at the 23. Big run there from our quarterback, and then a following up with another big run. Probably Chad Draghi or someone of the like there, as the 2-minute timeout rings by. I don't know why I say rings by. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know what the correct phrase is. Rings by, I think it passes by probably would be much better there, as we're going to hand off to Escalante. Another touchdown here, as it is 17-3, and we have the ball again with a 2-minute drill opportunity. In the shotgun here, we're going to dial up a pass here in the early going on this drive, as the linebacker makes a sprint out there for Warren Ingram. Thought he was going to be the most open, but as I can look in the post-mortem here, I don't know. I don't know. None of these routes looked particularly enticing. Maybe the best of the 3 being George Nijman. But it's too late to make a different choice, right? So we're going to have to roll with it here on 2nd and 10. And we're going to look to hand off maybe to our electric running back, Joey Escalante, as he's going to get taken down after a gain of 6. And so 3rd and 4 here, we're going to try to maybe go with the running back screen. It hasn't done too much good for us so far in College Football 27. They've really nerfed how effective it is, but we will manage to pick up a first that time. And we're actually going to use our 2nd timeout of the half here. Just not really liking the formation we're in, and I kind of want to give our guys a chance to catch their breath here before a 1st and 10. Let's see if we can maybe get George Nijman a one-on-one shot and draw a safety to the middle of the field, or maybe just take a shot for Jay Connors. No, we underthrow it, and we're going to get picked off. You guys can see the vision, right? You guys see the vision the same way I see the vision. The same way that I am psychopathically seeing the vision here. This is an open shot if we can lay this in properly. However, we just don't lead the ball the right way. If you put this ball up here for your receiver, that is a fantastic play. But unfortunately, no matter what EA does, that play is just not happening. We've been lied to for so many years with Madden, with College Football 27, that, oh, we've made it so you can drop passes in the bucket. And then when I try to drop a pass in the bucket like that, it's underthrown. Once again, maybe I didn't even lob pass it, and that's my fault. We were told they were going for it on 4th there, but they're clearly not, as Sammy Antoine's back there to take the punt, and he'll get snagged down instantly. That's a good idea. Maybe have him doing some return work here, as it's 3rd and 5. Maybe we finally are able to take a shot. Haven't really been able to do one at all this video, as we're going to take one for George Nijman, and it's out of the back of the end zone, unfortunately. Gregory Fala putting too much leg. I'm thinking about the field goal already. Too much arm into that one, as we're going to bring the kicker on here on 4th and 5 for a 55-yarder, and we're going to put this one up and right into the hands, or just under the hands, of the Allstate sign there. Sponsor me, Allstate, why not? Ole Miss looks like they're going for it on 4th and 3 here, deep in our territory. Let's bring the blitz, bring the press, make it really hard for him to get something going here, as they're going to do a read option. We get on him instantly, but he falls for the first. I mean, what are you going to do about that, as they're going to go down and get 2 quick touchdowns here in the 4th. However, we have the ball here, 3rd and 2, deep in Ole Miss territory, as that's Jarek Boyman in the backfield here. We're going to hand off to him. He's got some space, and he's going to get snatched down here. Are we hurt, or are we just banged up? I mean, we've got a couple. Oh my God, Eli Thorne fractured his shoulder blade. That's unfortunate. But no, we're just a little bit banged up there, as Jarek Boyman's going to get himself a carry in this game. Now we've got Joey Escalante in the backfield here on 1st and goal. Hand off to him, and we're going to get picked up instantly, but we do manage to push forward to pick up a couple. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 4, as Mitch Puegs is in the backfield. We're seeing all sorts of running backs here, as he's getting tackled immediately, as Ole Miss is calling a timeout. I'm getting to see all sorts of interesting characters here today, as 3rd and goal, we're in the pistol. We're going to drop back to pass. Nothing really, as we are going to move the ball forward to the 3. We have the choice to either kick the field goal or go for the touchdown here late. And you know my decision is always put this game to bed if it's possible. And we're going to put one out there for George Nijman, and he can't hang on. So Ole Miss is going to have an opportunity here late to go down and score. Can our defense step up here? Really haven't played much defense in this video. 2:25 in the game. They're going to hand off on 1st down. Kona Head's going to come up and make a great stop after just a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 here. We're going to keep playing some zone here. Don't want to overcommit to the run and give up a huge run. That's what happens, it seems, every time we call a blitz, as we are going to stop him after a gain of 8, but that's good enough for 1st down. 2-minute timeout flies by now, as we are going to have to really be on our game. The 2-minute and under moments are where the CPU is at its most bullshitty, as they're going to hand off here on 1st down, and there's nothing but space for the running back. Thank goodness we are able to stop that before it gets too out of hand here. And on 1st and 10, we're going to come back out in zone. They're once again going to hand off. I guess they're content just getting into field goal range. They're not necessarily worried about winning it before the end of the game. As a minute and a half is left here, they're going to be empty backfield. Dropping back to pass here, dropping it off short for the receiver. We're going to be trying to force a fumble here, if at all possible, because we know they're really not looking to take a shot here. So they're going to drop back to pass. They're going to try to drop something off short, and they're going to get out of bounds here with 1:14 to go. 2nd and 14, they might hand the ball off here, honestly. And that's exactly what they do here, as we are unable to break free of the blocks, and they are into our territory. They have only got 1 timeout here, so you would think that they really have to start getting bigger chunks if they're going to get into like touchdown territory, as we managed to force him to know, okay, I thought we managed to force a fumble from the QB there, but he is going to be counted as an incompletion, unfortunately. 2nd and 10, drops back, quick pass here, able to stuff it short, but they are probably well within field goal range here, right? So it doesn't really matter. We're probably looking at overtime in this game at the very least. And they're going to once again look and find just a miracle of space there. Oh my gosh. Ole Miss is going to use the last of their timeouts here. I'm assuming their goal is to take shots at the end zone before the end of the game. It would be painful to lose this one. Ole Miss is a good football team. However, you know, we've played so well, but we're going to pick them off to end this game. What positioning from Tony Davis? It's over. We stave off the last-minute comeback attempt from Ole Miss. We managed to read the quarterback's intentions perfectly and walk away on top today. That's the kind of performance we need here. But unfortunately, our pass game struggles away from home today as we only go 151 yards through the air. No touchdowns again, and an interception. As on the ground, still not doing a ton as Joey Escalante carried the load today, as Jad Draghi might have been a little banged up, as we can see a couple of carries from our lower tier backs there. In the receiving game, not producing a ton, obviously, with our passing yards not doing that great. And then defensively, really stepping it up here today. Terrain Figueroa really wrecking the game plan. And we just barely managed to walk away with a win. If it hadn't been for our user defense there on that last pass, we could be talking about a loss in this game. Okay, so Anthony Avila, the punter from Lubbock, verbally commits. John Ogboy, the kicker, verbally commits. Victor Crum hard commits after his visit. That's fantastic. Matthew Nunn also hard commits. Craig Brightwell also commits. So great news there, as we can see plenty of other great news in the recruitment trail as well. Things are going very smooth here as we approach the last few games of the season. We are still undefeated as we will end this episode with a matchup against Missouri. I have had such a great time with this team. We have come very close to blowing it, but we continue to find a way to come out on top in these ball games. So with that being said, it is time for us to end this episode here today. If you enjoyed this episode and have been enjoying the series, leave a like, comment down below, and hit the subscribe button so our community continues to grow. So I will hope to see you guys in another episode here very, very soon. Take care.